Okay, well, hello everyone and welcome to the Higher Estate. My name's Dr. Ira Price, but you all know that because only two of you listening.
Happy 710, everybody.
Yes.
Where's my showerizer?
Wait, all right.
No vaping inside.
Yeah, on
camera.
Or just do it. I don't do it. Not. Listen, why you can't vape? You can vape in a private residence, can't you?
Is this a private residence?
Said no.
It is after 4.
It is after hours.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hey,
I don't know. Listen. All
Do
right.
it behind your mic.
and then the cloud comes out.
No, you put it. You do it
I did
into
through
your.
the shirt.
You do it like a
You know
straw.
what I did? We used to do in my buddy's basement. His mom caught us. 'Cause she was going away. We thought she had left already, so we started ripping the bong. We would blow it under the bed sheets and cover them.
Yeah.
And then he was under there blowing out his head. His mom came to give him a hug before she was leaving and lifted up the sheet. This fucking cloud came
That's
out.
crazy.
Oh, there
I was
forget that.
thinking,
Adrian, if you're listening.
Do it like a straw, and then blow it out into
I
your
walk
drink.
around Mudfest blowing it out my shirt.
Okay,
I
but
do
in the
in
meantime,
bathrooms in
guys,
restaurants, every
let's
restaurant I go
well,
to.
let's not, and let's just keep the law, please. Although if the law is not just, I don't know, we have a duty to be civilly disobedient.
The law we'd be breaking is the same law that doesn't allow you to smoke in a concert venue. You can't. If you go to an indoor concert now, try lighting up a joint. You'll get kicked out so friggin' fast.
Roger Daltrey will yell at you.
You'll get kicked.
I gotta
out
tell you, I
real
went to the
fast.
fish show. I think we spoke about it.
Outside.
I heard you. What was it?
Outside.
I
It was
saw them years
amazing.
ago.
Yes.
Were they
Outside.
They're
bouncing
outside.
around on trampolines and
They,
stuff?
I don't know.
I
I
saw
don't
them
think
at
so.
the music hall in Toronto, and they were bouncing around doing backflips,
Not
playing guitars.
these guys. Yeah, now they're like old.
Older, yeah.
Now it's the arthritis walk.
Yeah, they were in their 20s back then.
Arthritis.
Now it's now they're playing.
Sure, they're using cannabis. They
I'm going
shouldn't
to
be
see
that
the Who in
hurt.
September.
I saw the Who.
I can't take my weed with me, so
No.
there'll be edibles and
Where-
mushrooms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They used to play at Canada's Wonderland.
The Who?
Yeah, I saw the Who there. I saw the Allman Brothers there.
Nice.
This is back in the day.
Leonard
This is
Skinner,
the 90s.
Janet Jackson.
I never saw Leonard Skinner play. How bad is
Bare
that?
Naked Ladies
How
used to play
obviously.
there every
Sweet with
summer.
Leonard Skinner
Yeah.
would be so.
Spin Doctors.
Yeah.
I've actually gotten to know two of the Spin Doctors.
Really?
Yep.
Who's
I saw
that?
them at Beer
Mike-
Fest one year.
Mark White,
Good show.
and I've
Oh,
known
yeah?
him for years, and I've just gotten to know their guitarist Eric. He
Really?
lives in Toronto. Yeah, he has a great new band that he's touring with. He plays at the Grossman's a lot.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, well, let's. We're a half hour now, almost 40 minutes late here, folks.
One thing-
So, and he's already
Gotta
gone.
turn off the coffee machine so it doesn't burn the place down.
Death by coffee machine.
Okay,
It's off.
so before we get started in our.
Christine reminded me.
What are we doing today? We are going to be reviewing an article that is a therapy article. We're looking at Crohn's disease today. We're going to talk about gastrointestinal issues, and I think this is one of the other landmark sort of trials. It's very, very early, very small, but back from 2013 that looked at Crohn's patients and the use of high THC product. But before we go to that, Mona Lisa, can I get a date on Friday?
Ooh.
No.
Yeah.
That's for you, Tyler.
You wanted me to sing?
Yeah. Tyler,
Yes.
What's that?
Shut the video off.
Bring it on the
The
news.
video off?
You don't need it
what video?
on Skype.
Tomo, talk to me about the news.
The news this week. Well, one thing that happened big on Monday, as everyone saw, Canopy's loyal CEO was fired. He did not step down.
Oh, he was. I didn't see that.
He was fired. The guy behind him is going to get fired as well.
That's weird. I just literally listened to him talk 2 weeks ago at Idea City.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But basically, what is it? Confederation brand or whatever, who owns
Yes.
40% of Canopy, is very disappointed in the profit scales that they've shown and all their margins and everything. So they're bringing in their own people.
As a
Take over.
stockholder, I am as well. I have to say.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
I was a stockholder when it was $6.
is anyone holding
I
Cantrust stock
screwed that.
today?
Well, that's
It
probably not
dropped
good.
$4 or $5.
We got when they bought them.
Um,
We got freebies.
Oh,
when who bought
nice.
them?
Whoever bought them.
Oh, really? Why is my Instagram thing over here? It's telling me to sign up.
But along with that in the news, today is 7/10, so happy 7/10.
So what's that
And-
mean? I'm like, why are people talking about 710? What the hell is
Write the
710?
date out and flip it upside down.
Yeah, but I didn't know that.
Spells oil.
Just learned a few years ago too, but
A few years ago, I learned today.
this
I'm a
morning
founding father.
I posted I posted a picture of Betty White dabbing.
Really?
I was
Nice.
saying happy 710 and not one person has got it. She's like,
I don't get
person's
it.
got
The
it.
dab is the
dab.
dance move.
Oh, the dab!
Yeah.
Oh, I
The
get
dab.
it. I did. Why didn't
like-
that click in
I
my head? I
always-
thought we were just
I
trying to be
always
cool.
knew hitting a dab is like hit a dab,
Yeah,
hit a dab,
yeah.
hit a dab, and then that song came out, and everyone's like,
I'm like,
go
what
hit
the
a dab.
fuck
I'm
are they
like,
talking
okay, like what the?
Oh, we got lots of swearing. You're worse than me, I think, Al.
Yeah, but I'm usually home sitting in my underwear.
That's awesome. Great picture you painted there for me. So 710 has been going on for years. Is this like a years
I
thing?
think you're
Not as long as the 420 thing.
How about Vaporil? Is it as good as Vaporil?
That's new.
Vaporil is our new thing,
That's
and it's
new
gonna take
since
off.
last year. Really.
Because I started it.
Yeah, you're
It's
the
my name. I'm
father,
I am the founding human
trademark.
of Vaporil. And
dot,
guys,
dot.
remember that. 420 is there. You could take one day of a break.
Do you know?
And then we
meaning
have
of 420.
obviously, yeah.
He talked about it on the show last week. He asked you, he quizzed you, and you knew about the statue, but
Yeah, the statue.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
San Bernardino.
in Berkeley, right?
Yeah. No, it was a high school. It was after high school they would go to the park and that's where the statue of
You
Louis
get there with
Pasteur
a
A lot
was.
of people
420.
thought that it was a cop call sign. It was, 420 means there's pot.
Really?
yeah. Bob Marley's birthday.
Yeah.
That was always like a random.
Is that his birthday?
No, it's not even
Oh.
his birthday. But people would say
It's
that.
Hitler's birthday.
Yeah, it's Hitler's birthday. Yes.
Well, that's why we're dabbing on.
Dabbing for Hitler.
No, like so that he can. I don't know. We could kill him a whole bunch more times. I don't know why we're talking about Hitler right now.
Yeah.
You know that dude
you
like
get
killed
two
half my
Jews-
family.
Two Jews in a room.
Yeah, this is
and
what's
start
happening.
talking about
Yeah.
Hitler.
Yeah, it's pretty offside there right now.
According to the internet, the first celebrations of 710 took place in 2012.
Really?
Yeah, so it's
The
The
very
exact origins are unknown, but it started becoming popularized in 2012.
How about 210 like Terry does? Terry's got 210 when you just can't wait to 420.
Hey,
That's his new thing. Yeah, that's his new thing. Terry from out west, Roycroft. Yes, that's where he comes
Nice.
up with. Hold on, my arm is itchy.
What are your thoughts about what's going on with Canada Day? I have an
Yeah.
issue with people calling it Cannabis Day. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
100%.
call me old fashioned, but I'm a Canadian.
Yeah.
And it's Canada Day.
that's our
420
nation's birthday.
and 710 are pot days.
Yeah,
no,
I
it's not
agree.
Cannabis.
Although
They didn't
I thought you-
legalize on July 1st or anything.
I thought you
It's
meant that.
stupid.
Why are we celebrating Canada Day
At all, yeah.
at all?
Yeah.
Because we basically took our land. It's a tough discussion though.
All land was eventually taken by
Right? See,
somebody.
it's a good argument, but it's like I'm still Canadian and I'm patriotic. What do you do? It's
Do you find Canadians are as or more patriotic than U.S. people?
less.
Less.
I wish we
are
loved
less,
our
yeah.
country as much as
Depends on-
Americans
it
love their
depends
country.
yeah,
on-
it's true.
On the subject, I think.
Is it that we're more
I
indifferent
lived in
to it,
the
or
US
we
for,
just
like,
don't believe in this?
7.5
It's a different
years.
value.
It's not part of.
Are we maleficent to it? Like, is it our maleficent?
It's not part of the identity to the same degree.
Because we also we're still British.
We
You walk
we
down
also
the street
learned.
in an area in a small town in Ohio, for instance,
Yeah.
and you see American flag, God,
You go to-
God
yeah.
love America, blah blah blah. You walk around Toronto,
Yeah.
you don't see that. Now you see Raptors flags. You see.
It's funny. We
some
believe
Canadian
more in
flags.
Raptors than we do in our country.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I hear the argument. I
It's-
mean,
it's
we
guns.
also didn't
It's-
develop in the same way, right? The only war Canada ever had to fight on its own against another country was against the U.S. in the War of 1812.
Yes.
Burn
And
that
we,
shit down.
yeah, we did. They burnt Fort
With
York.
the help
we
of
burnt
our
White
native population.
That's
as
right.
well.
We burnt the White House, which is why it's the White House, and they burnt Fort York, which is why we marched down there. I get that, but that's the only thing. Like, we did not have to fight the British because we're still part of the British
I
mandate.
personally think their patriotism.
Are we
comes-
talking about this? Is
Yeah, no,
awesome.
patri-
Great
I think
conversation.
they personally comes from young age and what you learn in school. Americans don't learn about other countries in school. They learn about America.
That's not good, though.
What are you going to believe in if you're taught at a young age?
Yeah, no, I agree.
But
Trust
it
me.
is
Look, I'm
Canada,
all
we-
screwed up. I went to
Canada, we
religious
learn a
school.
lot.
It's the greatest
History
country.
and geography
learned
in the
history and
70s
geography,
at Castle
yeah.
Frank High School in Toronto was walking in and copying down everything that was on every board and then going for lunch. That was history and geography.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, at least, like with the kids, they play with the puzzle. They put them in the right areas and stuff like that. How many
them up
prime
your
ministers
butt.
have there been in Canada? How many more people would know how many presidents there's been in
Yeah.
the U.S., even Canadians, than how many prime ministers there's been in Canada?
I took a lot of American history because
Yeah.
I went to school there, so I'm biased now. I just
you
know
are-
way
you're
more.
American,
No, I'm
right?
Canadian
You're
through and
Canadian?
through.
No, but
I
I
just
know-
went there for school because they paid me to
I
go
was
there.
there
school.
for first year of
I know
my life.
way
My
more
dad
American
was at
history,
Harvard.
yeah.
I know a lot, but it's also Canadian history. We think it's kind of boring.
It's kind of boring.
Eh?
We had the Quebec
Sorry.
Act of 1770 or something like
in
that,
high school, I took
74.
American history. and
I took
Canadian
American
history.
Canadian. Yeah, it was
I took
Can American history, but our history sort of developed, and where it wasn't
and
born
we
out of
didn't have-
blood.
Canada's only what 100 and something years
150, but
But the United
150
States isn't
something
that much
like
that.
older,
It
but it's
was
just
just
like
last year.
It's just more
so dramatic.
exciting. It's
Yeah.
drama.
So dramatic,
We
yeah.
fought. They fought. The price
They
of
fight,
they dumped
the
the
price of
tea.
stamps. The tea. Yeah, the price of stamps. That's what we
It
remember.
could also just be a numbers thing.
Okay.
There's
Can we talk
10
about
times
cannabis?
the amount of people
Yeah.
there. You see 10 times more of it.
Yeah, let's talk about cannabis. Are you done with the news?
I can keep going on about
Yeah,
it.
let's talk news. We're still doing
Okay.
news. I haven't even gotten to the study yet.
So there was a wicked article today on a physician, I'll look up his name right now, but writing about there shouldn't be labels of indica and sativa. It should be more based on what terpenes and cannabinoids are
Yeah.
actually in the
Of course,
plant.
yes.
They are there, but people have a solid stigma of I have a sativa. I'm
Right.
gonna be so
But you even,
I
do-
hold it
you know how
only
I
to-
tell you,
Yes,
I
yes.
fight that same battle, and then you're like, well,
No.
they're still gonna get it different because it's a sativa.
All I'm saying is
You say it
the
like that.
generic is how people look at it.
Right.
If you sit here, what like I do all the time, and educate about terpenes, I'll wait 3 months. Someone will come back and be like, "Oh, I looked into myrcene and limonene,
Right.
and I know what this is now." And yeah, I can look for that in the strain. But as a general basis, people look at it as indica sativa. It all to me that is different terpene compounds.
Well,
You're right. It actually, all it really is the location on the planet, and therefore it developed maybe slightly
Sure.
different. But we don't even have true genetics anymore that are most of the stuff. And I would say
Actually-
90, unless it's pure land race
I have
that you're going to
Colombian
find.
gold seeds right now.
Right,
I
so-
just got them.
So he's
So
very excited. He's some land race seeds.
Super
but
excited.
are they really Colombian gold?
I had some of the plant that it came off of. Yeah, I think it is.
Here's a question for you, because you would know this. When you get seeds out of bud, okay, you do the album thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is it true that if you get a good growth out of them, they're most likely going to become hermaphrodites?
It's not true.
No. Okay.
It's not. It all depends on the seed itself first,
Yes.
or how you grow it, because you can
Some
turn
people will
something.
tell you
hermy.
if you grab a seed from a bud that you're smoking, you're going to end up with a hermaph.
Okay, so if it came off a Hermy plant, which
Yes,
it most
then
likely
yes.
did, there's a chance. But I've grown stuff off Hermy plants, male and
Have you?
female, tons of times,
And just gotten.
and just gotten. But
Good
it's
genetics.
all a numbers game.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. By all means, if you get 50 seeds, some of them are going to be female, some of them are going to be male, some of them are going to
Some
be Hermy.
people will stand up and say, I bet you I can get every one of those fucking seeds to crack, no matter where they came from, and they do.
Oh, I can germinate any. I will
Cracking
germinate
seeds
anything.
There's a little bit of a talent to cracking seeds.
Dude, the trick: damp paper towel,
Yep.
glass plate,
Yep.
glass plate over top.
Yep. Put it
Boom.
in the shelf for 24 hours. Go and put more water
Guaranteed
on
to
it
germinate.
next morning.
If you're worried about them not germinating, for 24 hours, soak them in water first, then do the paper towel trick. You'll germinate.
Learn something today, Art?
I am learning. I'm listening. Hey, you don't see me shut up that
There we
often.
go.
So
Teaching the doctor
I'm
something.
listening. I'm listening to
Yeah.
germination.
That's something I do. I'm good at germinate.
Tyler knows
I
how to
take
crack
pride
the
in that.
seed.
I have so many people around me that I can ask questions, but yet I've never had a grow off myself. I've never done it.
Well, I was supposed to
I
this
tried.
year, but then decided I was going to move. But now we're not
Hills,
moving,
yes,
and now I'm
they're
too.
hills. You never put them on.
No, because I thought I was going to move. Now I'm not moving. It's a whole kerfuffle.
Next year, or give me a closet in your house.
All right. Well, you come out of the closet. Okay, now tell me.
Fully out. I had a row.
What else is happening in the news? Are we good with that?
Oh, I
let-
could keep going on in the news.
let's move
what's
on from news.
It was Dr. Russo who did. the
Oh,
article.
Ethan. Yeah. This is old stuff. Dr. Russo, like that's maybe a new article by him.
It's good. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, Dr. Russo is one of the like founding. I'd say there's a founding
And I like it
human.
because he's one of the first people I've seen support
So-
what you talk
Yeah.
about, which I believe in.
He's also the one who found the cannabis in the shaman's cave that you hear about 2,500 years ago.
okay,
So he's a neurologist turned archaeologist who's
Very
a big
cool.
cannabis dude out of California. He's
Very
like,
cool.
we're trying to. He may come here and talk next year. Part of one of
Shaman?
no, not the shaman. No,
Dr.
Dr.
Russo.
Russo. He's a cool. Like I haven't spoken to him personally, but Kevin speaks to him. Kevin Hall once in a while. Like it seems like he's a pretty down to earth guy. Wants to come out and chat. Loves the stuff. Yeah, but that's where I get a lot of my information. I
Yeah.
mean, he's a guy. So
This one breaks into.
He's been doing this for
indicas with
20 years,
myrcene,
30 years.
sativas with limonene.
Yes.
He breaks it. It's really good. I really
he's
like it.
if there's anybody to trust as a physician in the cannabis world, outside of course us, is Dr. Russo.
I've known
He's-
Sunir
he's-
Agarwal for a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've known. Sunir
That's so cool.
for a long time, and he's just like wow.
Yeah,
You know, he's like you, Ira. Seriously, I would love to get you two. We should get him on the show.
let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's
I will ask
do
him.
it. Okay, so I'm gonna move on now.
Yeah, move on.
Okay.
We're gonna go into this study. Are we ready for the study, people? It's we may go overtime because we only literally started.
Do it
Like
anyway,
whenever.
everybody.
So here is the study today. We're gonna be actually. You want to pass me that? Because are you gonna? What do you feel? Have you read it?
I read the first 2 pages.
I only read the first page. It's all we need. Because it's just the summary.
supposed to say that.
I'm just kidding. I read the whole article. No,
You did. I watched.
we're actually. So that's not what we're reviewing. That's just the supplementary stuff.
Okay.
So today we're talking about cannabis in
Gastrointestinal, right?
yeah, gastrointestinal stuff. And we have a question for Al.
Right.
Yeah, we do
Because
actually.
that-
review.
No,
No,
we're
God,
gonna
no.
get
God,
there.
no.
We're gonna get there. So no,
it's a-
it's a good we have a good question. We want your opinion. We want your answer.
Okay.
So here's the study that we're reviewing today, and then we'll talk about why cannabis does actually help for GA or can potentially help for GI stuff. One of the largest things that we prescribe it for in clinics is for gastrointestinal stuff. Now, what I don't want to say is that or if we read the Canadian Association of Gastroenterologists and stuff, they came out with a position statement. It's actually a fairly moderate statement. It's not the don't ever use cannabis. They say theoretically the stuff sounds like it really could work. Of course, we need more studies and all the other stuff, and it should only be tried after traditional stuff is tried. But when we go through this study and we talk about is this relevant to our patients, you know how we always go through are the results valid? The question is it do the benefits outweigh the risk? Well, when we talk about that, these guys in the article, they said something awesome. They're like, well, the drugs we normally use can kill you. So what do you think? Like, that's literally, I'll read you their line for line what they said. So
Read the twig line too.
yeah, that's pretty funny. All right, so here's the study. Cannabis induces a clinical response in patients with Crohn's disease, a prospective placebo-controlled study. This study was done by a guy by the name of Naftali. These guys are out of Israel
Of course.
and in Tel Aviv.
I was just gonna say that.
And yeah, Tel Aviv, Israel, like a lot of this stuff. This was done in 2013. So this was the first, to their knowledge,
They've been
randomized.
on that page
Oh,
for
yeah.
a long time.
This is, to their knowledge, the first randomized control trial looking at cannabis for their disease. And to my knowledge, I think it is as well. So what they did, just in general, what the study did is it took a bunch of patients and they had specific outcomes. The question that they asked was, is cannabis, so their outcome was, their primary objective of the study, I'll just read it, was the induction of remission. So they were trying to get patients who have Crohn's disease, which is inflammatory bowel disease, not to confuse that with IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. One is a syndrome because we don't know what else to call it, and it's real. We just don't know what to call it. It's like saying fibromyalgia. It's a bunch of symptoms, but we don't whatever. It doesn't have a specific finding per se, or a physical finding, but IBD is Crohn's colitis. So either you have Crohn's, there are specific findings that you find in your gut on scoping, and the same with colitis, same idea. So we're talking about IBD right now. So when you have IBD, or in this case, they used Crohn's patients. When you have Crohn's patients, they have a specific regimen of medications that they try on you. Methotrexate. You can go to like a form of another form of aspirin, other steroids, a whole bunch of medications that really strong steroids, a weaker steroid, and then you have biologics. You have all these different drugs to try to decrease the inflammation and all that stuff that's happening. Alpha, they call can't remember, intrinsic factor, TNF. TNF alpha blockade. Sorry, that's just another one. Anyway, so what they're trying to do is they're looking at a certain population who is not responding to traditional medications, including prednisones, biologics, and the aspirin sort of derivatives, who's not responding to those things, and they're going to try them on cannabis to see if they can induce remission, or at least get them out of having their symptoms. So remission isn't really symptoms. It includes symptoms, but remission also includes that you don't actually have the physical finding anymore. But also, for them, what they used as remission is they actually have an index called the Crohn's Disease Activity Index, and a score of 150 or less, they describe that as being in remission in this study. And it includes everything. So the question was, did that happen? Their secondary outcome, what they were looking at was the response rate. They were looking at a reduction of at least a certain amount of points on certain blood levels. Like they were looking at C-reactive protein, inflammatory markers in the blood. So and then of course quality of life and all the other stuff is secondary outcomes. Primary outcome is, are they going to be in remission? Secondary outcome is all the other quality of life stuff and some blood work. Okay, so that's what the study was. In general, the study actually never hit statistical significance when it came to putting people into remission. That being said, in the study arm, 50% of those people were found to be in remission by the end of the study. It just didn't have a statistical significance. But where it did have a statistical significance is when you looked at the treatment group, and in this case, the treatment group are those who are given cannabis. Those people had a very significant difference when it came to symptomology. So their symptoms were decreased significantly by the score index that they used versus the control group. Not only that, they were all, by 8 weeks, everybody in the treatment group was off of their steroid. So, which is a really good outcome.
Yeah.
But now we have to sort of look at these results. How valid are these results? How big was the study and all that other good jazz? So, as we do our therapy studies, or as we, review studies, we're also learning about how to review studies. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about a therapy study, so far we've done in the past, we did the systematic review study analysis, how to do the big bunch of studies. Then we did a harm study. So we looked at, the harm. Now we're looking at therapy. Does it help? Yep. So again, we start with, are the results valid? So the question is, are they randomized? Is this a randomized controlled placebo controlled trial? And is it blinded? So these guys were randomized. They for sure tried, they even described how they did the randomization by they did a block. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They did randomize them. The randomization was good, but then were they concealed, right? So was there concealment? And was there concealment specifically around the allocation? Did they know which groups they were put into? So this is my question to Al. This is what I'm trying to do, this Al. So allocation, when we conceal allocation, it means the people that we put into the cannabis using group, did they know they were in the cannabis using group versus the people that are in the placebo using group?
A double blind.
Right, exactly. Then we call it double blind. Concealment is blinding, right? Are they blinded to which group that they're in? So, Al, how do you blind people in this kind of study where you got... Yeah! Woo!
That's exactly the response he was going for.
That's totally it, man. I love it. Yeah, that's it.
I've done a few.
See, we knew that you did a few. That's why we were going to ask you.
Yeah.
But point is, like, what I'm trying to say is if how do you do a blinded study on cannabis? Because, like, if you're the cannabis arm, you know you're getting cannabis because you go and get high.
There's
You
the
know,
placebo,
I've bought some other shit before in my lifetime that was like parsley and shit, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, you live and learn.
Yeah, I know, but like, but how do you?
But you knew it was parsley.
But
when
you knew it was
Yeah.
parsley that you weren't
So-
getting high.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
No, you're not
Oh, it's
getting
pretty
the
young.
actual
Yeah.
thing. There's no
Is
the
this
placebo.
working?
It was one of
Right.
those things.
Too fine of a line.
I'm gonna buy some weed.
Is it hot? You could only blind them with CBD. If you're giving them
Yeah.
real cannabinoid,
Well,
like
you
real
could.
CBD,
No, real THC.
or well, you could do the study with CBD.
Oh, you could. Yeah.
That's the
You
the
know,
only way to make
I-
a placebo effective.
I
now,
don't
'cause it'll
know.
bounce.
It can be done because I don't know how many times I've been sitting there smoking a joint with somebody. Sorry, combusting, and
You want to know
they're
something?
They're like, oh, I don't like this weed. Well, go give it to me because I like it. It's because it reacts differently.
Yeah, of course. But you know that you're smoking.
You know you're
One
getting-
thing,
you know
one
you're.
thing that I always like to remind in every show that I've done, cannabis is strain and patient specific.
Yeah.
You could be Don Blow over there and Chris Schmall over there smoking the same exact strains.
Yeah.
One with ADHD, one with nothing, and you're going to get two different reactions.
Yes, you're
Yes.
right. But my point here is that if cannabis is cannabis at the end of the day, THC is THC.
Yes.
If you have THC and you have nothing, you know the difference between THC and nothing. So it's really difficult to blind people because they're going to get high, so they're going to know what group they're in.
I don't know. Some people don't get high.
Oh, Al.
I've met one person who can't absorb
Seriously,
THC. in
I
my
know.
I guess that, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
One
fair, but
person.
that's, you don't run a study like that.
No, I mean in a
I'm not talking about
study
individuals.
scenario.
I'm talking about the study,
Yeah,
Al.
big study.
But you would come across those people in those studies.
You
would not?
you may, but
Very
not
large
on
study,
a not
very large.
not on a small basis.
And you chop them off the
Yeah.
ends of the
What is
study.
the size of one of these studies?
Good.
that you do
Okay, there we go.
That makes them valid.
Yes. Yeah. So
we
hey, Al, what are the results? How precise is the estimate? Beautiful. How big is how large is the treatment effect, and how
If
does
you've
it make
only
it
got
valid?
3 or 4 people.
Right, you're gonna-
get a good
No.
qualified answer.
You don't. Do you listen to anything that we do on here? Because
But
you
I
know,
also know how to use those to ask those
it's
questions.
sounding to me like.
Exactly.
So Tyler now knows, but the smaller the study, the more variable it's going to be, right? Because 4 people have 4 different results. So
And
the
I did hear you talking, and you put me to sleep.
fuck, you're such a
On
dick.
cannabis. I was waiting and listening. Come on, tell me something interesting. I'm just kidding.
You're a dick. Okay, so yeah, so the more people you have in the study, the more well-rounded that study, robust that study could be. The precision of the treatment effect is going to be smaller because you have so many people. A lot of them will have the same
What's
result.
the average number?
Well, you have to power a study. Some studies, like I said last week, if I take 2 people and throw them off of a bridge, they're probably both going to die. So you don't need to have a big study to know that if you throw people off a bridge, they die. But if you're looking for a really precise, a small,
Step on a butterfly, you're going to have a mess.
right, exactly. So, but if I'm looking for a needle in a haystack,
Yes.
you're going to have the study that's a lot larger.
Yes.
That's right. Because I don't know that if I step
There's
in the
no
middle.
average size
You-
of a clinical study.
No, you have to we call it powering the study. So you have to create the power based on a small sample
Like a
size
fan
first.
base.
You do like, yeah, exactly. You do like market research
yeah,
first,
yeah.
and that's called a pilot study.
Yeah.
So you find out, and then you do based on the pilot study, the market research you do, you decide how big you need it to be to get the full effect for the next study, a larger study. That's sort of how it works. Make sense?
They used to do those kinds of studies standing on the corner, young and bluer, with a microphone. They cost you. Excuse me, can we talk to you for a minute?
Yeah, so
Doing
those
a
are
study.
market research stuff. Okay, so let's go back. Was there randomization? Yes. Is it difficult to conceal? It is, because how the hell do you conceal like cannabis? You can't. I mean, you can
Too much
maybe
of an
1 or
effect.
2.
There's too much of an effect
Right.
on the body. No.
Was there an intention to treat? Meaning, did they, when they started, were they going to include everybody in the study, no matter how they finished the study? They did mention that, or I can't remember if they mentioned that, but I'm pretty sure they mentioned it in there. So I'm going to say yes. Were the groups similar in all ways? So once you randomize them, if they're different, if I have all men in one group, all women in another group, all young people in one group, all women and all old people in another group. Those are different groups. So that's why we randomize. And these guys were pretty much random. We can see where they both pretty much started around baseline, and all of their other shit is there. You can look at it in the study. The truth.
Have you got a URL that we can post in your feed for this study? maybe?
Well, that's a good idea. What about the other ones we've done? Why haven't you mentioned that?
We should be posting it. Usually I have somebody during my show
Oh.
myself posting the articles we're talking about.
Well, you know where you need to turn that question to? You need to go like, nope, keep going. That's dude. Yeah, that's a great idea. Why aren't we doing that? Burnouts.
Fantastic idea.
You know, a bunch of potheads over there.
I'm just always in
Dude,
panic.
I've done this because I'm a pothead.
It's fair enough. All right, it's true. Okay, so here we go. What else did I write here? Were the patients aware of the allocation? Well, how the fuck do you not be aware of it? And they talked about that in the end. So at the end of the study, they said the study was a very small study. They only recruited like 50 people, and then most of them weren't included, and they only ended up with 20, and they randomized 10 to each arm of the study. So it's a very small trial. So are we able to generalize really from the study? Probably not as well as we'd like to, because it's so small, like I said, but at least it's a beginning. So the question was, right. So at the end of the study, of the 20 people, the 10 in each arm, only 2 in the placebo group didn't know which arm they were allocated to. Everybody else was able to guess which group they were in. So that poses a problem, but how do you conceal it? So I'll tell you, for the studies we're moving forward with, I think when it comes to doing cannabis research, we have to be a little bit innovative on how we do our methodology, maybe using a different type of methodology. And that's what a bunch of researchers are getting together to talk about, because you're dancing. He doesn't give a shit. He's like, Al's already out. He's like, yeah, ask your question.
Oh, I forgot my question.
See, there you go.
Fuck, put another quarter in.
Oh, jeez. All right.
This money's for hope, right?
That money is actually, I took 75 cents of it is from the till, but the rest of it is donations.
The final numbers went in last month.
Oh, okay.
Just for this month.
All right.
I
Yeah.
remembered my question.
Oh, there
When
you go.
when they're asking, they ask people questions. They're not doing blood tests and stuff like that, are they? In these?
Yes, they are doing. Yes.
They do it all.
Yes.
So what kind of questions do they ask these people?
So that's what I told you. So for this study, the methods that they used, they looked at the Crohn's disease activity index, because remember, they're comparing Crohn's.
So they're asking people
they're-
who have Crohn's or issues with their stomachs
Yes,
specific questions.
that's correct. Like, are your symptoms better or worse? And then they'll ask
When you use
specific,
cannabis.
right,
Like-
versus nothing. They'll just have them do a checklist,
Like, for
but then they'll
instance-
also do blood work, and then they'll also do a
Like-
scope.
I wake up in the morning and I go potty, and then I don't feel so well.
Right.
Afterwards, it's like my stomach. It's the diabetes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's my stomach. I just feel like, blah. So then I have to eat, and then I feel better. Is that stomach related, or is that diabetes related? Like, those are the kind of things that you
Both.
have to figure out.
Right, yes. So they have so like I said, when you randomize people in a trial, you try to adjust for all of those things. You want to make sure both arms are equal in all ways. You would put inclusion criteria. What is the criteria even to enter the study? And things like diabetes would be excluded because you couldn't tell.
Yes.
So you want just the Crohn's patients who are not doing well on X drug. That is the study question. That is what the people that you bring into this kind of study. So, but for you, for example, is your diabetes related to the stomach? For sure it is. You can get gastroparesis, all of that stuff. So in studies, though, they include or exclude based on different criteria. If it's going to be a massive confounding variable, which means how do I tell what it came from? We'll just exclude it then.
Can they
But-
tell what's causing it?
You won't be able to tell what's causing it, but just exclude them from the study.
So
Or
what happens then? They're not getting any help.
they're just not in the study, right? If the question is, do patients who have Crohn's disease do okay with cannabis? That's one question.
Yes.
Do patients with Crohn's and diabetes do well that's another study.
That's a whole other.
Right. You can include those people if you want and call that a real life scenario.
Okay.
and we like real life
Isn't that what you
results.
would want to
It,
hear
it
for the
is.
most part?
I don't disagree with
You
you,
just
but
can't isolate it.
Health Canada, it makes it really complicated to do studies, and then to like, so you want to ask a very specific question in a specific population. But it isn't a bad idea. You could say people with diabetes and have people with Crohn's who also have diabetes, did they do better on their traditional don't change anything medications or the addition of cannabis? That's a good question to ask. You could do that study. This study didn't do that. This looked just at Crohn's patients who were difficult to
Was there a good
to test
outcome?
to. Well, hold on. We're not there yet, man.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, man. Just listen. Jumping the gun. I actually answered that question.
Did you?
I did before, but only in the summary. All right, so what are the results? So the results of the study, they included what, 20 people in the study?
Yes. Very many.
Yeah, it wasn't very many, and they wrote that as one of their weaknesses. And I think, you know, it is what it is. But what I'll,
Is the point of the study just to use as a launching pad for a bigger one then?
yeah. So that's so when you do a pilot study, you use it as a launch. It's like almost
There's
like
no
a.
real practical application for it.
Well, the practical application is, well, we see a benefit in certain areas.
Right.
And
But it wouldn't
now
be-
we need more studies to show a bigger therapeutic
It wouldn't
benefit.
be enough to dictate
Right.
any kind of policy or anything.
To be,
Oh, no, it's okay.
what?
You can't hear you at all in these
No, I
mics,
know, I
just
know,
so you
it's
know.
okay, it's okay.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just telling him to come over.
Oh, we'll make sure by next week we're
Gonna get Luke.
you can hear it on there though. We can make sure we're still up and running over there.
We can hear you, but they can't.
Oh, you can tell me if we're still live.
Yeah, we are.
You know, with the two people who are now gone. It's gone down to one. Is it gone
A
down?
little 1
It
second
got a
delay.
little one. All right. So what are the results of this study? I think the most important thing is after 8 weeks of treatment, their score decreases were very significantly higher, like better score improvements for those using cannabis. And they were all steroid free, which is huge. Versus the control group, whose scores went upwards, were worse at 8 weeks, and were still, and well, two of them deteriorated so badly they had to have rescue therapy. And that was in the control group. So meaning they'd go on IVs and all the other jazz and all the bigness. So
B12 and-
yeah, so it was statistically significant from that perspective. So, but this is simply related to the symptomology of the Crohn's disease.
The actual
So
symptoms.
the symptoms, so the pain, the nausea, the
Al
bowel
Graham, Al
movements.
Graham suffers from Crohn's
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah, so in this study, the people were significantly better from that. But when it came to their actual primary outcome, which was, are they in remission? Meaning, are all the symptoms,
Depleting,
that whole
going
scale,
fully away.
are they in remission? That wasn't statistically significant.
Why?
Well, probably because they only had 10 people in each group. So they didn't have enough people, because you're going to have such variability.
Not enough information.
That's right. They weren't able to gather enough information, but super, super promising, right? Because
Yes.
those who, even though the study was so small,
How long was the study though, too?
it shows here, go to figure 1, 8 weeks.
8 weeks?
That's not in there, man.
That's not
Wrong
yeah,
study.
Yeah, wrong. Well, it's not that 8 weeks for complete remission of Crohn's. I think that's pretty short too, right?
It
And
is,
that,
yeah.
I mean, watching what Al went through the last few years with his Crohn's, he's been in and out of the hospital. That seems a little too quick for me.
Right,
Because
so with 20
he
people-
was bedridden in the hospital for weeks, then went home and he still had to take it easy for another month or two. And then after that, there was a few months of trials and errors.
Yeah, and especially these are severe patients we're talking about here, right?
Very severe, probably.
Like
yeah.
these,
Like,
well,
this is almost life-threatening at that
well, the
point, right?
inclusion criteria is that they all suck at Crohn's disease because they're on every other drug and it's not working.
right.
So, you know, this is one of the problems I find when with the cannabis, like with doctors that refer patients and are like, you know, they're like, well, you're the last hope for this
Yeah.
person. They've tried everything under the sun for every disease that they have.
Fix
Nothing's working, and they come and say, well, cannabis it's the cure-all, so it's gonna fix you.
It's the shit.
Well, how am I gonna, like, you expect that to, and then when it doesn't work, they're like, see, it doesn't work for anything.
Yep. Yep.
What kind of shit is that?
Well, that's just
That's
the same. That's,
humanity.
yeah, and that's the
Okay.
same
Well,
thing.
I mean, that's
as
shitty
going over
education,
to
though.
your friend's place to smoke
Yeah.
a joint, and your body doesn't like the weed you got. It's the same thing.
Well, no,
It's
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different than that.
I think it comes down to like I said, education, and like we need to start telling people. And I don't know how you put it in school, but
I know. I want you on mic next time.
I don't
Whatever,
know how you
fuck
put it in school, but like the preventative kind of we have to get that in mind. Like we
Everything
can't-
I learned in the back pit of school.
it. Right.
it can't be reactive.
So,
Health
kidding.
can't be reactive. We have
Yeah.
to be
The problem that I find is that like all these we hear the media goes back and forth whether they like it or don't like it.
They do
The
whatever
patient-
story.
whatever,
They're
right?
very
Whatever.
biased.
They're very biased. Canadian
Are they
journalism
controlled by
is
the
shit.
conservatives or are they controlled by the liberals?
Yeah.
Most of the media in Canada is controlled by the liberals. A
Yeah.
big chunk of it. So
Yeah.
they're
now.
trying to
They're on,
boost
they're
their
off.
fucking campaign. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. So it creates to talk about the government and everybody's swearing.
Not a fan. Not
So,
a fan.
but I mean, it's a huge problem for us, and it's a stigma. I think it's one of the most prevalent stigmas within the medical community. Is I sent you my most difficult patient and it didn't work, so therefore cannabis doesn't work. That's
Because
And
there's a
that's what you
bias
see in
going
the
into
paper,
it,
that's
right?
confirmation
And
bias.
that's what you see in the paper
Yes.
most of the time.
That's right.
Yes.
That's the confirmation bias. They don't look at the hundreds of other people that had moderate disease, severe, less disease, didn't want to start other drugs, and are fine and hadn't have to go on those big drugs. They're looking at only their population of people that doesn't matter what you do for them, nothing's going to work. And why would cannabis work
And
for
you have
them?
to- yeah,
like what you said.
And so now I find myself having to justify, like I go into this defensive mode,
You
and
said
it
it like
sucks.
last week too, because I said it. But that rule of 5. How can it
Right.
work for every 5 people?
Right. It's what did we say?
I said it wrong last time, so you say it.
2, it works excellent
for
in 2. Okay.
For 1.
It does nothing for two others. Yeah.
I
And
said
that's
did
what it's
nothing
gonna
for 1. That's what.
that's just literally what it's gonna do. And I think no matter what studies we do on it, you're gonna find the same result in general of that. Cool discussion today, guys. So now we know what the study actually showed. We know it didn't meet its primary outcome, but was statistically significant for symptom relief, which is, and I guess in real world outcomes, does it matter if you're in remission if you have no symptoms?
Not really. Not. I
Hey.
mean, to the
They don't
end
consider
user.
that the same thing?
No.
because it's still
Remission
there.
is a technical
But it's still
thing.
there.
Yeah, because they still have the signs inside their body. Signs you
it's like a trace.
you see. Yeah, like when they do the scopes, they have a whole thing.
Well, that could cause major issues too. Like if you were not in remission, but your
Is that the
tumors,
music
all
that you
this-
hear?
It's the dance hall.
Yeah.
The dance
That's what you hear on the mics.
No, I can hear it in the air. dude.
But remember when you said you hear music?
Oh, yes, you can
Is it
hear
that?
You can hear that,
Oh,
yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like the good Jesus. I don't know. I probably screwed that up.
The good
I'm
one.
not trying to like offend anybody. I don't know anybody.
Not the one
He
passing
was.
down
They almost
the-
converted him today.
Oh my god.
Oh,
So do you believe in Revelations?
What I said something first, and he's like, everything's Satan.
Do you
I'm
believe
like,
in God?
oh,
No, they're like, oh, so do you believe in God? And or he was telling him about. That's the one
Talking
part
about
I heard.
Satan.
Sorry, and I hear Christina and I over there were just like under our computers. Anyway, this guy was like, hey, so telling him about religion. He's like, so what do you believe in? And Tyler turns to, yeah, I don't believe in God, and like I believe in a whole bunch of
I
stuff.
believe in spirituality being connected to the earth. I don't believe in some man floating on a cloud made me.
Right.
And I've read a ton of.
So, but this
religious
guy,
literature.
then he was going off like Revelation just
Yeah, he's telling me
happened.
revelations and proof of them within the last 100 years that they took place.
Oh god.
and I'm just like,
That's
dude.
a stretch. You have to stretch.
I went to a private Protestant university, and because I stood up and said I was an atheist, I failed the class.
You want to know what I believe? You're born, you pay your phone bill, you die.
Well, I mean, so right, so
Yeah,
you know,
a big one in
interesting,
Canada,
but
too.
but that's good. That's empirical evidence. That's the evidence. So,
That's
and if something else exists, excellent. But do I need to live my life trying to worry about that? Just be a good human on this planet.
Yeah.
Nope. That
I mean-
that person is aliens following us on Earth and tracking us for television.
I mean, that's like the.
I believe that before a lot.
So
other
do
stuff.
I. Well, why wouldn't there be aliens like that put us here?
Statistically,
Exactly.
Or are we in a black hole?
They
I'm
do-
watching this awesome this. I've listened. I like
Did you
the
watch the Bob Lazar thing?
the what?
Bob
The Bob
Lazar.
Lazar
Have you
thing?
watched that yet?
The who?
Bob Lazar, the guy who worked at S4.
Oh, Bob
which is a
Lazar.
program,
No,
Area
but
51.
I'm watching this
Don't know who you're talking
cosmology thing.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like super into like
I
space
watched
science.
a bunch of documentaries the other night. Yeah, I love.
Like,
And I'm like a Stephen
What do you
Hawking
feel
huge
about what
fan
they wanna
of
do
black
with the moon
holes.
knocking it off its kilter.
Oh,
I
we
didn't.
were watching that
Yeah.
cosmetology on
Yeah.
Netflix, and he goes through it.
Yeah,
oh,
I didn't
that's
know they
a
want. That's
really
really
good
cool.
one.
Yeah.
And they
They
have you
want
watched
to
the one-
fire stuff at
Hold
the
on,
moon
why?
and knock it out of its
gravitational orbit of eight.
gravitational
What?
Earth to find out if they can actually do that to the huge meteors that are flying
Oh,
towards
yeah,
us that are
these-
bigger
yeah.
than the moon.
And when they do that, our ocean will go nuts.
Our whole
Exactly.
world will go
The
nuts.
Is it
magnetic
going nuts
force
as it
they would
is?
never
It-
do.
Well, the
This morning-
moon is our magnet. Is a magnet.
it's a magnet.
62
Yeah.
Celsius in Kuwait, it was setting trees on fire yesterday or the day before.
What was the moon?
No,
the
it's just
sun.
how hot it is. And
So, now
the
they
want
heat
to-
wave that's going through Europe. Right
Yeah.
now, and stuff, it's insane.
There is a pocket over Alaska right now that is minute by minute melting more ice quicker than it's melting on
They
its
had
own.
that in Australia.
Yeah,
like
that's
last year,
because
right?
our
Sunspots or whatever.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
what,
Well,
I
there's a
thought
hot-
we
there's a
recovered
whole
our
heat system
so
in
our
Alaska, yeah.
our ozone. Well, that was the only thing that the world has ever come together on, and that was and that's the
And not
ozone
stopping
and
the
stopping
sprays.
right and stopping ozone because well the ozone is our really is our you got to
field.
think of it as our force field. It's the shield that shields us from
And now
everything
they
else.
have similar
But I
products.
thought we were healing it. I guess it's not as good.
Our
They have
feed for
well,
meat
that's what I was
kills
getting
it.
at. They have similar products. that
Really?
are spray
I don't know if
canned.
The largest
Hold on, we
effect-
got- wait,
The largest
one
effect
sec.
on greenhouse
Hold on.
gas is the like
Is
animals.
agriculture.
Yeah.
Animals.
Yeah.
All our
Uh-huh.
thirst for cows fucking kills
and
us.
killing trees and
Yeah,
bees.
cutting down the rainforest.
Bees, I
man.
hear like bees are a
Without
big
bees-
thing.
You take our bees away from us within
Bees
a
are
1,000
dying because
years,
of the
we're dead.
pesticides we use on
Probably
crops
quicker.
that they pollinate. They're taking that pollinated pesticide back into their hive and it's making
I'll give
diseases
you an
and
example.
killing them.
Up
By
north,
design.
Yeah.
about
Death, yeah,
3 years
so
ago,
crazy.
they announced that the first corn crop from Montecito seed was coming up.
Monsanto.
Monsanto.
Okay. And within weeks, the bees in that area died
Gone.
the minute the crops came up. And we were getting, walking around in Durham, Ontario, which is, just 3.5 hours straight up 6. Okay. We were walking around town. There were bees everywhere, dead on the ground from this because it was the first season that
The Monsantos.
crops came up.
Look at
Oh,
India.
man.
India was given all
is
of those
horrible.
Monsanto crops.
Right.
They grew them for a few years. They can no longer grow any other seed in any part of their
Because it's all
land because it's
infiltrated
completely
and-
filtered to only grow Monsanto. Monsanto now sells those seeds to the country and has charged them more, and it puts farmers into poverty.
And
It's
eventually,
terrible.
eventually,
Freaking
drought,
terrible.
And eventually they'll have to go in with their equipment.
See, I always,
and do it themselves
I'm not
to make more money.
I'm not a GMO fan. None
Neither
of us
am I.
really are,
Neither
of
am I.
course.
I am.
But I am a little
Fuck
bit.
yeah, I am.
They do have
There's a
there are
reason.
some things that have
Well,
their
there-
GMO is everything. Like, I mean,
Well,
we wouldn't be able to sustain the population we do.
I agree. So
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Like the good thing about GMO, and I know that it gets all this bad rap, but like go to places that were never able to farm ever, and everybody was dying. GMO changed that. They can plant a corn
Saudi
and it'll
Arabia.
grow.
I mean,
that
even-
being said, it's now the only corn they can grow, and they're getting
I know,
hosed.
but if
Monopolizing
you,
a
if you-
country's agriculture is kind of
Is
evil.
you
what's
look at-
is it better than death?
If you look at GMO, like
the
in,
food's
in the
killing
sense
them
that,
too.
like,
Yeah, I guess
killing
so.
people. My dog.
If you-
Hold on.
if you look at what an heirloom vegetable is compared to what it is now, that is GMO, and that's like we don't even think about it.
Look
but-
at
Is an
soy.
heirloom
Look at
vegetable like
soy is GMO.
is that like broccoli that you've had for 30 years?
no. It's like when you look at what broccoli.
That joke.
God damn it!
Woo!
Some
Winning.
of that on your burger.
Right. Is it
a
worth
fancy
more?
long word they put on menus and then charge an extra $40.
Oh, really?
I've had it.
Sorry, what
No,
are you
it's a
saying?
real
No,
thing.
I'm sorry, I
No, but
interrupted
what
you.
I'm saying is that like through selective breeding, which is basically genetic modification,
Yeah,
we have done that to every single thing that we can.
we have GMO'd our whole life is
Everything.
GMO.
Yeah, we are
Selection,
GMO.
natural
We are
What
selection.
he's
GMO.
talking about selective cropping is
Yeah.
plant a ton of crops,
Yeah, but-
start only producing the crops that are good.
I think-
GMO is
No.
I think
Science
that's
going
not
in
what he's
there.
saying.
No, you can
No,
go way
hold on.
further
He's
than that.
saying natural selection is GMO.
That's
We
not,
who do you
GMO's
breed with?
genetically modifying.
Yeah, but who do
You're
you-
not
No,
modifying
but
any
you can-
genetics doing that.
No, but you can do it through
You're-
splicing. You can do it
I don't
through
know.
actually
Maybe you're
moving the plants together. So that
Yeah,
like,
that's called called naturally breeding, not going into the physics of the plant and planting
Right.
shit in
I
it
know,
and making
I
it
know.
Right, but it's
genetic
okay.
But
The
the
genetic
end result, though,
modification
That's
allows it
all
to be
natural.
more resistant.
That's totally what happens in nature.
Well, no, but we do that ourselves.
No, no,
we
but we're
genetically
pushing-
modify who we want to breed, who we want to do all these things with.
Well, yeah,
but now we can. That's natural
To me,
selection.
That's doing it naturally.
And right, okay, so natural selection is
Yeah.
okay, but the extreme of that is genetic modification. You don't think is okay.
Monsanto's farms are.
What if you were able to
3 by
cut
3
out
little tiny
cancer?
Rooms they're doing with.
Okay, so let me ask you: what if I was able to cut out cancer from your life?
From my life.
Which we can do because we can genetically modify your DNA to do that. That's what what's the name? Yeah, CRISPR does.
They've just done that with pigs.
Yeah, but you could do that in humans. What if I was able to take
I
out
would-
your? What if I was able to take your one's loved one, from ever having cancer?
I would need
Is
a
that
lot of
okay?
statistical backing. I would not be the first person to do it,
I have
and
a
I would want it to
pain
be
in my mouth.
done on 50 million people before I would even consider it.
But I mean, people will do it. I mean, I think.
I still just can't. Cancer's bad, man. You get it. It's not good.
We had some
No, I know,
guys-
but if I was able to cut, what if I was able to cut Crohn's disease out? What if I was able to cut out the vomiting you had?
Anyone go into
Trying
my
to-
body and cut things out?
It's not literally cut it out.
Pump things in
We
me?
don't.
I say no.
But when it's not cutting, it's
edit
where
out.
we edit it
Yeah.
basically. It's like we
But
erase
it's the,
it.
I think
That's
the
just
reason why you're
freaks
saying
me
that
out.
is the slippery slope, right? It's like where
But
do you?
it's right. Where
that's
do you?
the gray
Right.
area.
So that's the ethical part. You know, if I could genetically modify the cancer out of me, I probably would.
We've had some guys on the show, they've been on twice, and they are basically GMO pot guys. They are working on removing 98% of any molds,
Yep.
viruses.
From being able to grow on there.
From the seed itself.
That's right. That's right. So that's GMOing your cannabis.
Yeah. I'm
So, I
not
mean,
down. I don't
it
even use
has-
auto seeds.
It does have some
don't-
valid worth.
Where are you going?
I'm not going anywhere.
Why are you
There is
taking
work
that out?
in that, but
You just find that.
now if you take all those molds of things away from the plant, if those plants
You don't use
produce
auto-
the same
what?
terpenes,
Use
don't produce the same
autocorrect?
stuff that the other plants do, and ruin the soil. There's a good and bad in everything. You gotta weigh them both and
yeah,
make your
just-
own decision.
We're playing God and we don't know the outcome.
I know, but like I don't think it's so. If we make something resistant to mold, if the cannabis,
Mold will get stronger over time and
will get stronger.
eventually
We've seen
take
that.
it over.
It doesn't always work
And
like
then
that. We
what
do
if that
with the
mold that
trees
gets
already.
stronger that
We
starts
do that.
affecting
seen that.
humans before you
I know,
ingest
but
it?
we.
So I'm looking at I'm talking about cannabis now, right?
But you could do that with the trees, like up north, because we have certain insects that come in and cycle.
Beetles and that, yeah.
Yeah,
Cicadas.
that we can isolate and fight
Well,
against, right?
I'm gonna go back to this study.
I'm not down with GMOing anything, but it's just
Oh, he had
it's
had
what
that.
happens.
Yeah.
So I have to.
So
be
you
part
don't
of it.
you don't modify any of your seeds.
even-
I'm
modify-
almost down to now using only aloe and stuff for cloning. I'm almost using no unnatural shit.
So if I roll a
Just
doobie
good water
and then wrap it
good-
with RSO and then sprinkle Kife all over it, is that a GMO doobie?
No, that,
Well, that's all
just
natural.
Jeffrey.
That's it's interesting, but you shouldn't smoke it. By the way, okay, so now here's what I'm going to say about I'll save it for the end because it's going to be the big wow. This is what that happened. So what were the results? We spoke about the results. Was it a large treatment effect? Well, it wasn't great, but there was no significant difference for their primary outcome. It wasn't a big enough group, but at the end of the day, they were symptomatically out of pain and improved and not using steroids at 8 weeks. By 12 weeks, when they did their final follow-up, 10 weeks, when they did their final follow-up after the study, they did a two-week washout period. All the people in the control group were back in the treatment group. The ones who were using cannabis, who have been off of it now for 2 weeks, were all back up on their scores. So, I mean, there is some effect there. Was it precise? We know it wasn't fully. So how can I use these results? I think we have to obviously take this with a grain of sand or whatever, with a puff of
What's smaller, sand or salt?
I don't know.
Which grain do you want?
Sand.
Do
It's
you
gotta
know?
be sand.
No idea. I'm just
It's
saying.
gotta be
that.
Sand?
because time. Yeah. Is it like?
RSO.
But I guess it depends where the sand
RSO is
is.
smaller than sand?
Rick Simpson.
Oh, no, but what I'm saying,
But it depends what kind.
well,
of
I don't know. What I'm saying is how do we apply these results? We have to take them with a puff of the RSO is what I was trying to say. Gotcha, with the
Fecal.
Shatterizer.
Call it fecal now.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Like, I don't know why you call it RSO, but I mean, I guess they do. He came up with a protocol.
Yeah, it's his protocol.
what he
It's his
made.
protocol. Yeah, it's fair. You could do that. It's.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. People call my dosing guidelines the price protocol, and they call
What's
but
written
it's the
on it.
protocol.
And
Yeah,
it's just his protocol. It's what he
He did it, and it worked for
manifested
him.
again.
yeah, good for him.
You know,
Is there just too much
but
ego in it?
even-
Did it exist before?
But even JB
My protocol did not exist.
Even
RSO
JB
Just saying.
has his own protocol now
Mm-hmm.
that he was working with Rick. You know, JB.
Yeah.
And he adds other things into it.
Yeah, listen,
as
life,
opposed to what
holistic.
Rick believes.
Listen, doesn't matter.
And you've
That's
got
good.
other guys who.
But that's
use
good.
Isopropyl, and that's
It's propyl. Yeah. Alcohol.
bipolar, and they're getting different things going, and.
So, but that's good. You need those different discussions in the founding
You also need those
people.
different things. I'm sure there are cancers out there that RSO is the only thing that'll work.
Well, cannabis. I don't know about the RSO. RSO is.
It's concentrated.
It's just
cannabinoids.
concentrated. It's just
I need that
extract
protocol.
concentrated.
It's
You know,
no.
like, if
He
it
was an
hasn't
isolate. That's
working-
not RSO. Is not full plant.
No,
RSO?
there's some that.
RSO is
You can
not
make it
full.
full.
You could no, because his protocol. So it's not called. It's
There's
RSO if you're
benzene
following the
left in it.
protocol. It's
So-
like 1 gram.
All right, you put the plant in alcohol, it's stripping everything out of it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
Because it's
not
bipolar,
disagreeing.
right?
What's bipolar?
We were talking about that on my show the other day, and.
Can I just finish this study and then we'll remember this bipolar business?
Okay.
Because I want to know what we're talking about. I wrote it up here.
Well, yeah, write it down because I'll have to remember because I'm bipolar.
Good. Right. So, how precise we already spoke. So, are these results? How do we apply them? So, again, take it with a grain of sand, salt, shatter, anything you want. That's how we got off topic there again. Thought about it. It wasn't a large enough trial, but it does show some promising effects. Maybe we should slow. I don't know what to do with that, but anyway. Are they clinically important? It's super important. This is like a really important question. And the question is, what other things does cannabis do for
Crohn's.
Crohn's or for inflammation? And so there's this other study here. It's not a study, it's a review.
Sorry. Is Crohn's like most of what it's doing is causing inflammation in different like
It's in ulceration, inflammation, certain parts of your bowel. The role of cannabis in gastrointestinal disorders altogether, it's kind of cool. It's there's evidence here for reducing both gastric and gastric acid secretion and gastric motor activity. So people that have, for example, and this is just one thing. I mean, there's so many things, but people that have GERD, gastritis, heartburn, right? It decreases gastric acid. That's
cannabis does?
yes, THC does.
Stomach ulcers from overactive
It
glands.
decreases
That helps me
right. So it
tremendously.
decreases ulcerations that you get from things like NSAIDs and Advil by
Because the
decreasing specific parts through
and it's quick.
through its effect on the CB1 receptor.
Very quick.
And what causes ulcers are certain chemicals, and those chemicals are inhibited by THC in your gut. So specifically, we've seen them lots of this stuff in animal models.
Is there
So-
any like downside to having too much THC in your gut?
Yeah, there are, because it does.
You can get that.
You,
Hypermesis.
yeah, so there are a couple things that you can get. There are downsides, of course, to any drug.
Yeah.
Because it decreases motility,
What's
it helps. So let's say in a Crohn's patient that going to the bathroom 7-8 times a day, it'll slow that down and control sphincter control.
Help take the inflammation off.
But that being said, if somebody's using too much THC, they can stop going to the bathroom.
It can reverse itself, can it not? Can it cause
Yeah.
inflammation as well?
No, it won't cause inflammation
cause
per se.
other
But I mean, I guess it could in a bimodal. Like it could if you're using way too much of it. It certainly can affect the receptor to the point that it becomes dysfunctional.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, and
It's
then
misfiring.
it'll misfire like other drugs.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful. There are certain, and then it can cause cannabis hyperemesis syndrome, which is that cyclical vomiting.
I put myself in the hospital. I thought I was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
It was just I had too much RSO that day.
Yeah. So, and I've seen people that have gone crazy on
You must see
RSO. By
that
the
in the
way,
emergency.
we're seeing a lot more of that now, and it's a problem
So
because
this is
there's
like
no
overdosing on weed.
there's
Are
we
they
call it
mixing
greening
other
out.
drugs with
No,
cannabis? Or it's just
no,
going
just
green?
just greening out. But that's because they don't know the dose, man. They go over to one of the legal shops and they say, say, here, man, take this,
Then they don't
eat
say
this Timbit,
That's right.
and the Timbit has 200 milligrams
You
of.
just starve death.
Yeah, but who the hell wouldn't eat a Timbit? Because how do you not eat? How do you only eat a quarter of a damn Timbit?
Yeah.
Like it's impossible.
That's the dosing inside of the like.
But then Health Canada goes to the other extreme and they say you can only have 10 milligrams of THC or CBD in an entire package, which doesn't make sense.
Creates
10
waste, man.
milligrams.
Creates so much.
So much waste.
Well, it's not that. I mean, that's for you on an
You're
as
gonna
an
have,
individual.
like, a
But
pile of
imagine
wrappers outside of
you're gonna have, like,
SPF
I'm just gonna keep making
you'll have
my own.
1,000 packages.
Yeah.
Somebody with our
big
or
waste.
garbage cans
that
outside.
just wants to alleviate the pain in their fingers, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, that's right.
that would be.
It would be. And then
Microdosing.
yeah,
Until they've been doing that for a few years and then need to increase and they're buying all more 10 by 10 by 10 by 10.
right. So here's the final thing that I'm going to say. Two more things about the study. The last question that I'm going to that this thing always asks is: does the benefit outweigh the risk? You know what I mean? And
I believe so.
I believe so.
right. Well, even they say this. They say this. Although the long-term side effects of cannabis are not negligible, other treatments for Crohn's disease, such as steroids, purine analogs, anti-TNF factor, all these other stuff, also carry very significant side effects. Some even life-threatening. So, like, at the end of the day, like, do you want to die or do you want to green out for a few hours? You know, if at the worst case scenario that you green out. So I think we have all this mounting evidence. Can we take this and say, oh, everybody can go use it for Crohn's? No, I think that we can say that we need more research, and this is very positive. At the end of the day, they designed it well. I think the hardest part where they had some design flaws is in the blinding, because it's impossible to blind. So, but we don't know how to do those studies yet. Here's an interesting factor. I'll close the study section on this. Do you know what they used in the study that got ethics approval? They smoked. They gave them half gram.
That's surprising.
Because it's 2013. Vaporizers weren't big yet.
Okay.
So they
And
smoked.
edibles were just
They smoked
at home.
115
So now
milligrams of THC
Each dose.
each dose.
So yeah, half a gram of.
Half a gram of 23%.
Yeah.
Did they not try injecting?
No, the study was designed by smoking.
It was designed for.
Yeah.
Would that?
And
have
where did they get their plants from?
From their twigs.
a non,
from
a
twigs.
non-LP?
It's what does it say here?
That's gotta be
This is awesome.
translating from Israeli into
Yeah, for
English.
sure it does.
Like, it for sure
So
does.
instead of saying like
Instead of tweet,
like a
it's
cutting
twigs.
or
Instead of a clone or a cutting,
clipping
they're
or
like-
and we just took some twigs.
we got them from Oh, here it says
We were running through the forest and
we dealt with this problem by using cannabis made from genetically identical plants grown from the twigs of the same mother.
oh, wow. That's awesome.
That's I'm gonna start.
I love
using
that.
twig.
Have you?
That's
have
my
you,
new thing.
So you wanted to go back to bipolar. What are we talking about? Bipolar.
The solvents when you we talk about the differences, the different solvents that you can use, and the one that
Is it, we running?
seems to get the most bang for the buck is the isopropyl.
Yeah, because the
Because
highest
it's
content
bipolar.
of a solvent and
Yeah, and it gets it.
I don't know what you mean by
It
bipolar.
attracts both the
cannabinoid
non-polar and
plant.
polar.
Everything goes in. It sucks everything out of
cannabinoids, so
whatever
it's
it's
everything.
soaked in.
Oh, like ethanol will do that
Yes,
too, though.
because
Yes,
it's a
but you're
high
left
potency
with
alcohol.
Benzene then when you use
No, you burn that. You can
evaporates
evaporates.
off
Oh
pretty
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
You
yeah.
burn it off,
Far
and then
less.
you take your burnt off product, put it through a vac of for 48,
And then that's
72
done.
hours, and you're gonna have a good proper purge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or a desiccation pod.
So yeah, the
whichever you
purge
got
is
at
what
home,
you need.
know?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
got a desiccation
Yes.
pod.
Do you?
Do you?
You have a defecation pot?
Yeah, one of those too. Well, it's just basically all it is. It's a very fancy lid. that
Yeah,
you
it goes
connect
upside
to a
down.
pot, and then it runs off a vacuum pump.
Wow.
And
Al, talking
then you
to
go,
the-
You get your nice little
You
pile.
kidding me?
You get your pile of RSO in there, and it goes like this. It goes. Psh, psh, as
Is that what it
sucks out
does?
the
Can
butane.
can you do that again?
It's so cool.
Great
It's like a
sound
souffle
effects,
going
buddy.
up and down. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to see.
That's cool.
That's cool. You learn something every day.
That's cool. What else, man? I think we fucking crushed today. After-
half an hour.
No, we do the 3 to 4:20, man. That's the usual. We started 20 minutes late. We're finishing 20 minutes late. I think we're all
Right
together.
back on track.
We're on track.
We're good. Do we know what we're doing next week? So, and it's up to me to buy
the
this
interface.
You need
stupid.
a mic, one more cord,
Yeah,
and the patch thing so we can try it.
What's a patch thing?
XLR.
We need the XLR. We want to try the thing. I need this
XLR
new,
mic interface.
this stupid interface thing is driving me mad.
If you
But did this work today
if
with you?
yes,
Like this?
yes,
So, okay, so we had no problem.
No, it's
so
all-
all this crap I heard. Like, I thought we were gonna have a
Now
Royal
we're all
Rumble.
on the
It's
same
amigos.
page because
I'm in
he
here
gets
trying to
his
help
feed and I
somebody.
get my
Who's
feed.
sitting there like this? I'm like, just this is
Oh, I'm sorry.
Was there was a patient in here?
trying to do bywall crap.
Oi.
Wait.
Oi, and I had to
Oi.
bring her out here, and
Ow.
then you guys got a little quieter.
Oi.
And then that wasn't working, and I had to bring her back over there.
You see that? You got passionate people.
Passionate people.
She not coming back here.
No, she's very happy because
All right.
I do my job.
Real people.
Aw, see, Tyler, I guess we do like you at the end of the day. You might, be a little bit of an asshole to me, but
So anyways, if
You can be
anybody
an
has an
asshole
old
I know, I'm just
soundboard,
kidding, Adam. I'm just kidding.
please let Ira
I'm
know.
just kidding.
It makes the banter better.
It does, yeah.
So when you get
I was
up-
really trying to say you can be lazy, but I didn't want to say that because you're not really, even
When
though
are you
you're.
gonna come and talk to
Fuck.
us
Lazy
about, hope and stuff?
When am I coming to talk about hope?
Yeah,
When you invite me.
tomorrow.
I'm in Toronto. Aside from tomorrow, Thursdays are usually I do my Epic Days in
But we can
Toronto.
record something and do that.
I would
We
totally
really
do
need-
it. Yeah, I'll come to the street. I thought you did Mondays because I was coming after clinic.
Mondays we have tenants and stuff in the Airbnb.
Okay.
And usually I'm there on Thursdays from 2 to 4:20, and we're literally because we're closed. So we occupy the park at the corner of the
Really?
Ferguson station, and we sit there and we're up to about 20-25 people a day.
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
and a lot of new people. We have people from the AIDS Network.
Wow.
come over. They come over sometimes just for.
Police can't kick you out of the street.
Yeah, they could come.
Oh, they could?
We could be charged with what do they call it now? It's not traffic anymore. It's possession for the intent.
Yeah,
Well, that's always
you have
been
to-
like that.
They just have enough people there that each one of them can give away 30 grams.
We're doing it very publicly.
Yep.
We're not selling it. If you want to call me a drug dealer between the hours of 2 and 4:20 on Thursdays in Hamilton, whatever. But if you need help weaning yourself off of opiates,
That's what we do, man.
come and
That's-
talk to us. Ira's on board. Tyler's on board.
That's cool.
We have a slew of other people that are on board, and even if we help one person a day, that's all that matters. Just like
One person a
one
day,
person
that's
is huge.
huge.
You know.
Or
Yeah.
one person at all.
You know,
It's an
Neil
epidemic.
Magnuson.
Yeah.
All the help we
Neil
can get.
Magnuson is seeing upwards around 150 to 200 people a day in Vancouver. The lineups are down the road.
What is he doing?
He does his cannabis substitution project.
That's
That's what
I
I
just thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah, we
Hope
have
after.
70 people come through here a day.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, that's what our you see the major pain patient, the pain patient's major concern when they come here is I need off these drugs.
I refuse them. I've never gone
Yeah, we
on,
should.
on opiates at all. I mean,
There's a place for them,
I
but
went from my doctor refusing to sign because he didn't know enough about it to I'll put you on Sesamet for now. And then when we figured it out, and together, and I've always brought in what I'm using. Do you have patients that bring in their medicine just to show
all of
you?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to. It's
Yeah.
part of our.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
The first time they come in, they have to bring us all their lists.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, okay, well, I have a
Oh,
friend.
bring in their cannabis.
My friend
Oh, of course.
Kelly- my friend
Yeah, all the
Kelly
time.
People have all the time. with
Wanted
that.
to be so upfront
Yeah.
with her doctor. She walked in.
Hello, we do this. What we do, cannabis.
with some RSO
Yeah.
to show him, and he fired her and told her not to come back, and sent her a letter saying you brought illegal drugs into my office.
Was she prescribed cannabis at the time?
Yes.
So she can manipulate the product in any fashion she wants. That's not an illegal
Well,
product.
he fired.
We know.
Well, that doctor should
Be written
in
up.
trouble. Where's
Instead,
the
they
college
write me
now?
up all the time. Yeah, I know.
You're
They
right,
write me
you
up all the
get in
time.
trouble all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He started a revolution.
it is what it is,
You know,
man.
I went. My first signing doctor was Robert Cameron.
Really?
I actually went out to his clinic,
Yeah.
met him, talked to him.
Rob was a nice. Anyway,
He is
so
a nice guy. I've had him
for
on the show a few times.
Still?
Yep.
So, and for
Him
those
and
who
his
don't know,
They have a wellness clinic
Just
up there instead of
in the
instead of
US?
his- No,
Is he
we're-
back in Canada?
No, he's still
Still
up
practicing?
in Coal Hill.
No, he
and
doesn't
they
have his
turned
license.
it into a wellness clinic as
Yeah.
opposed to a doctor's office.
You know, just for those who don't know, just after I started prescribing, there was another guy just around the same time. His
Yeah.
name was Rob Camermans, Dr. Camermans. He was up in Cohill. He was just trying to help people out. Really nice guy. Anyways, college gave him a hard time. Media gave him a hard time. He was doing some stuff, but who knows? At the end of the day, I don't think he got to tell his tale.
He's been on my show and talked about it.
I missed it. Then maybe we should. I'd like to hear him. Yeah, I'd like to see that file. Anyway, just a good guy. Okay.
Yeah, all
what-
around, yeah.
Yeah, all around, really nice. Like nice hippie.
You know what? You walk into his office and you sit down and you're getting an examination from a guy that looks like Tommy Chong.
Yeah, he totally
And he
does.
talks like Tommy.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool.
But he's really laid back.
Once in a while, they let in.
Tommy John's really laid back.
Once in a while, they let in some unique doctors. It's all changing now. Hopefully.
Well, at one time, like yourself, you were one of those unique doctors.
Oh, I'm not anymore.
Of course you are.
Now I'm
There's
just
a lot
an asshole.
more-
Old
There's a
news
lot more
iron.
doctors out there taking a
You're not
chance.
the trailblazer
Unfortunately,
anymore.
there's a lot of
Thankfully.
doctors out there that won't sign now.
Yeah. Now the good news is, when you're sitting alone doing something, you don't have a movement and it sucks. When you have, a 2, 3, 5, now you have a movement. So, and then you have a movement, and with movement comes numbers and power, and then it can grow. But it sucks to be sitting out there alone. That's for sure. It was really tough at that time. Yeah, it was basically until 2 years ago.
You were basically under the firing lines.
Yeah, for 5, 6
You've been
years.
threatened. You've been.
Right. But then I look at guys like Morgenthaler, like.
I grew
Dude.
up knowing him. My
Right,
dad knew
like
him.
this, that's a hero. Like, dude sat in jail for 10 years.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, for women's rights, for
I was
human
at
rights.
A meeting that he had after the bombing. I was there with my dad.
Yeah, and he's death threats. I mean, I've had death threats, not like
Have
he
you?
has. Oh yeah, I've had it all,
And
man.
now we're gonna have to go through this whole abortion thing again.
Oh yeah, it's so not in Canada. Really? I'm not gonna. Nobody in Canada. Are you kidding me? In Canada, there's not a doctor in Canada that you'll find that won't. Yeah. Even our right-wing conservatives are more left-wing than their left-wing.
Yeah.
Our conservatives are more liberal than their
But
Democrats.
Do you know how much we're getting ragged on for Quebec trying to friggin' ban the hijab?
Yeah, I know. Well, that is
That's
a little dumb. Yeah.
ridiculous. And America is ripping on
But
Canada.
is-
'Cause they're
is-
like, we'll let anyone work and wear a hijab in
Yeah, I know,
America,
but
and then we'll have a
Quebec
bunch of
also tried to
radicals come
separate from Canada. So and if you go there, it's not like it's a totally different culture.
No. I have been in Montreal buying something and said, oh, it's great to be in this country. And I'm like, I'm from Toronto. And they're like, you're in Canada, boy. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I just looked like a complete dick.
They don't really look at Montreal as being part of Quebec.
Yeah, even though it was
They've
the
been
original
trying to
part of
separate.
Canada.
They've been trying to
Yeah, yeah.
separate.
They always will.
All right, everybody. Any other plugs that we need to do? Yoga.
Yoga is tonight.
Yoga's tonight.
Yoga for chronic pain. Doesn't matter how much you can move. You can do it from a chair. Alicia is great teacher. And it's tonight at 6:30 at the Burlington location on Harvester Road across from the Applebee GO station in Burlington.
Do it up. Anybody can do it. Do it from a chair, Al.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
She's a great teacher.
You know her. Yeah. That's
She's a
right.
great teacher.
Yeah.
Buy well.
Buy well.
Signed up a bunch of people today. Continue coming. Save some money off of your medical cannabis through the Buy Well platform.
Through a coverage product. Yeah, the insurance program. Doesn't cost you anything. Just save money.
Save 15%.
What else?
Fantastic.
Plus, you save 16% on your taxes. So overall, it's like 32% savings.
Are you able to claim cannabis now?
Yeah.
You can claim cannabis. You can claim it a lot easier when you have cannabis. When you have a policy like
New
that.
form of plant, cannabis.
Cannabis, it's good.
Yeah, no, you can claim it in your taxes as a medical expense.
But only if it comes from a licensed producer.
100%. You're
Yeah.
not getting a receipt from a street dealer.
Right, Al?
I don't go to a store.
I don't know. I'm just
I don't
talking
either.
shit, Al.
go
What
to
else?
I know where
Check
my
out
cannabis comes
Instagram. Oh, you're watching it. Instagram is Dr. Ira Price. Also check out Synergy Health Services. Check out 420 Radio. Check out Tyler something
Tyler
TTYLER.
M710.
Oh, is that it? Oh, I just got it.
That's
Dude, I never got it till right now.
been there for.
It's been there for a long time.
15.
Yeah.
Are we done?
I was a.
Yeah, we're done.
So I gotta run my disclaimer
bye.
tonight. Thank you, Ira. Hey, thank you, Ira. Hey, thank you, Ira. Hey, thank you, Ira.